It needs to be on an agenda item. If it's not on the agenda, we won't be speaking on it tonight.
Okay, call to order. Stand.
Please bow with me. Dear Heavenly Father, we just come to you tonight, Lord, and we just pray that the city and the citizens can work together, Lord, and that things will be for the better of the city of Eufaula, Lord, and its citizens. We just ask that the decisions that we make tonight would be good ones, and that we would stand by the things that you would have us stand by, Lord. In your precious name we pray. Amen.
Pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll do roll call.
Councilor Davis.
Here.
Vice Mayor Mauser.
Here.
Mayor Warren is absent. Councilor Upton.
Here.
Councilor Kirby.
Here.
Okay, consent agenda. We have approval of the minutes for the regular council meeting on August 1st, 2022, special council meeting August 16th, 2022. Approval of the treasurer's report. Approval of the August 2022 payroll figures for the general fund in the amount of $75,784.82, and receipt of claims for the city of Eufaula. We have a motion for
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda. I'll second.
Councilor Davis.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mauser.
yes.
Councilor Upton.
Yes.
Councilor Kirby.
Yes.
All right. Number 9. Consideration of acceptance, approval, adoption, rejection, amendment, and/or postponement of an application for a zoning change from R1 residential to CG commercial general at the following locations. The west 90 feet of Block 4 of Block 50 of the city of Eufaula, commonly known as the corner lot of F Street and Lincoln.
I'd like to address this.
Okay.
This agenda item has come before us a couple of times. We had to go back, we had put it on an agenda too soon. And because of a time limit, we had to go back and have it reheard by the planning and zoning, which required relettering as well as republishing. It's been through the planning and zoning. Planning and zoning voted 5-0 against the change. And so,
Did they have a reason?
pardon me,
Did they have a reason to vote against the
they
change?
at that point, they decided that that's what they felt was the best interest of the property.
Okay, so,
It is. It is. And same for the next agenda
Number
item at number 10. So just,
so,
but it is up to you as a council. You know, they're an advisory committee, all right? You can take what they say and, vote your conscience on that. But that's how they advise.
we have some discussion. Anybody have any comments or discussion on this? Council?
Well, I don't know what went on in that planning and zoning, but if you want something, you need to show up for it. If you don't show up for it, then that says you don't have any interest in what you're fighting for. So I'll make a motion to.
Are we going to discuss it?
No.
Yes, there's 2.
Oh, do I have something here? Okay, Emma Watts. Emma Watts, would you like to come speak on this item?
Good afternoon. There I am again, you all. Same thing. I'm still against that. 9 and 10. We don't want that to be rezoned for commercial. That's residential. And I've said the same thing 4 or 5 times up here for the same thing. And we don't want the maintenance and garage behind Wayland Baptist Church. We don't want that. That's the church. And people need to give the church respect. Okay? In that area, it's residential, then it's our church up there, community church. Okay, I'm a little bit tired of going through this same game about this. We've said this same thing for 5 or 6 different committee meetings. We believe that we're being targeted as a black residential, and I'm gonna say this, and this race ain't got anything to do with it, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, and I think, well, maybe I shouldn't say that. The reason I'm saying that, it's not on the agenda about the code, but I'm not a big part about that. I'm supposed to. Well, we believe we've been targeted because now there's trucks, cars being ticketed. Okay, that's fine. But do it for the whole Eufaula. I've driven around Eufaula and seen a lot of bulldozers and stuff and junk and all of that, no tag on it, no ticket. I had to pay a ticket.
That's not on the agenda.
I asked and they said, yeah. This is leading up to that. For me believing we're being targeted. Okay, I'll go on.
It's about the rezoning.
Okay, and that's got something to do with it because this come up every meeting. Rezoning.
Yes,
Okay, I'll let that go.
that's what they're gonna talk about.
Well, this is my lifetime coming up here with this. That gives us no choices to the table. Alternative measures. Because this is not being fair. We're being targeted and it's not right. And this goes over and over and over and over. So we trying to be reasonable here and do it the right way. But if no results come out of this, then we have to find some other alternatives to sell it.
Okay. Thank you. Is it Sharon McCoy? Next.
Good afternoon. There was a vote 5-0 against that rezoning. And the reason why is because we attended that meeting and we talked to them about not rezoning that area to turn it into a commercial. It's our church, Wayland Baptist Church, will turn 140 years old November the 6th. And I want to invite you all to go last time. But that's a church that's been in that community that long. We've been disrespected as a church. Things have happened over there for as long as Extreme's been in the community. Trash, beer cans in our church yard. We've had to block it off to keep people from just parking in there, just like it's a part of Extreme. We are not a part of Extreme. And then drinking and selling beer and having music that close to that church. We have not made a stink about that. But, enough is enough. We give a little bit, they take even more. So I want you to consider, as a city council, people that are supposed to be here to represent the people, to consider not making that a commercial. Extreme is making enough money and bringing in enough money. I have no problem with Extreme. I do have a problem with the disrespect that this Extreme being in that area has caused our church. Not only my church, even my mom's house. We've had little kids to run up there in broad daylight on their little golf carts, get off and knock on my mom's door and take off and run. That's not funny. She's 89 years old. We don't need that. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about we put up with in that community. It's not right, and we will fight to the end. So I'm asking, I'm pleading with this council to consider not doing that, please. Do not do that. Because it's not good for our community. It's not good for our church. We put up with the nut for the however long the string has been in the area. We put up with a lot. And yes, Extreme has employed some of our residents over there. That's all kind of good. That has nothing to do with the disrespect that they have not shown. They have not shown that church any respect in that area. It's like nothing, like it don't mean nothing to them. But that church means a lot to us.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
Any discussion among the council? We'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion not to rezone it commercial.
Do we have a second? Motion dies. Do we have another motion?
I'll make a motion on number 10 to not rezone it commercial.
Well, we're not there yet. We're still on number 9. We have a motion, another motion for number 9. A motion? No motion, so we have to take no action. Do we strike it?
No, that issue is not passed for lack of a motion, a second, and a majority vote to pass it.
So, we just,
It fails,
it fails.
yes.
All right, now let's go on to number 10. Any discussion?
I'll say the same thing I said before. If you want something, you should come to the meeting and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to explain to the people so the people know what's going on. I have yet to see this individual come to a meeting and explain to the people what it's all about. So I vote, again, no, don't make it commercial. I'll make it,
Motion.
Well, we have had somebody come. We had him come two times at least.
you talking about Philip, I know who you're talking about. I'm talking about Ron Henry.
Well, Phillips,
You talking about,
Phillips.
I'll talk to him first.
We spent some time with him.
Well, we ain't gonna do that. We're gonna do what we need to do.
All right, so do we have a motion on the table?
I'll make a motion not to zone it commercial.
Do we have a second? Do we have, that motion has failed. Do we have another motion? No motion, it will fail. Okay, item 11. Consideration of acceptance, approval, adoption, rejection, amendment, and/or postponement of the airport taxi project closeout and final payment.
So we've, one of the projects that we took on last year that the council approved was a taxiway project at the airport. That project was handled through Park Hill Engineering, awarded to GCC Enterprises. They have completed the project, it was actually completed in May. So this action that I'm asking for here is to accept the project as complete and also approve the final payment for the project.
It looks beautiful. I have to say, they did a wonderful job. The before and after pictures are just absolutely amazing. I bet they are really enjoying that.
Yes, there's a lot of interest in our airport, a lot. And it calls every week.
Do we have any discussion? I will entertain a motion to accept the project, close out, and final payment. I'll just make the motion.
I'll second.
Counselor Davis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Melzer,
Yes.
Counselor Upton,
Yes.
Counselor Kirby.
Yes.
Okay. Number 12, consideration of acceptance, approval, adoption, rejection, amendment, and/or postponement of, I guess will be vice mayor's signature since the mayor is not here. We're going to vote on each one separately. So item A is the fiscal year 2023 REAP grant resolution.
The genesis for this project is really is our fire department facility we have here. We're in an old grocery store, Piggly Wiggly from the 60s or early 70s. We're limited in space, we're limited in size. If we bought a new firefighting apparatus today, I don't think we could park it in there. It would be too big. It wouldn't. We're squeezing what we have in there now. And so in order to have a functional facility, we really need to upgrade the fire department. We have property available at what we call our public works facility out on Highway 9. We have enough, I think there's 5 acres there total. We want to peel off a portion of that, and we want to build a new fire facility that's 80 foot deep by 140 to 150 foot wide. We've got a little tweaking to do based on the number of bays and how much additional training space and office space we might have there. The plan is there is ARPA money, a little extra ARPA money this year related to REAP grants. And the maximum grant award is $150,000. I don't know that we'll get $150,000, but we're going to get something. And so we're going to ask for the maximum amount. That'll help us get started with the pad, the rough plumbing, and everything to get the groundwork ready for a new building. Then what we want to do is we want to take our ARPA dollars that we received last year, which was $248,000. We want to take our ARPA dollars that we're going to get this year, which is an equal amount of $248,000, for a total of $496 to put in and finish the facility out, build the building, to create the space inside for administrative offices, training space, and we need a facility that can handle modern fire equipment. We're going to go through some growth. I think that folks are going to see some things that's probably going to happen here in town in the near future that we're going to need that. We're going to need that ability. And if we show that we can make an investment ourselves in what we're trying to do and protect our town, then there might be some ability out there for some grant dollars or maybe some partnerships from different entities that might be able to help us secure some new equipment. So my recommendation is to
Well, I'm really excited about it. I think
and,
it's
it's needed.
years,
It's a facility that we need a lot.
So we need to vote on 80
each one, yeah, we have to do the resolution, then we have to do the application, then the statement of
So we're
understanding.
voting on A. If there's no more discussion, I will entertain a motion. For the grant resolution.
I'll make a motion to approve the grant resolution.
Counselor Davis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Melzer,
Yes,
Counselor Upton,
Yes.
Counselor Kirk.
Yes.
okay, and then on B is the fiscal year 2023 grant application. So if there's no more discussion, I will entertain a motion on that.
I'll make a motion to pass it. I'll second.
Amy made the motion, and Jamie seconded.
Counselor Davis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Melzer,
Yes.
Counselor Upton, Counselor Kirby.
Yes.
And then on item C, the fiscal year 2023 REAP grant statement of understanding and assurances. If there's no discussion, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Jamie made the motion.
To pass.
Pass.
I'll second.
Jamie seconded.
Counselor Davis.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Melzer,
Yes.
Counselor Upton,
Yes.
Counselor Kirby.
Yes.
All right. On to the rodeo grounds. Item 13, consideration of acceptance, approval, adoption, debt amendment, and or postponement to award the Frolic Rodeo Arena lease. So we have quite a few people to speak on it. Connie Boone?
Can I make a little
Yes.
kind of lead up to this just a little bit? Okay. So a little bit of history is that at our last council meeting, we chose to do a request for proposals. And that's what we have here. We had two submissions to state their case and why they feel like they're the best operators of that rodeo arena with the rodeo lease. All right. So what I think, Nancy, if I can make a suggestion, is that the people that are going to speak for the proposal, what we'll do is we'll allow you 15 minutes to speak for the proposal, the individual that's speaking for the organization. Then, after each organization has a chance to make their comments and their pitch, then any individual coming up after that, supporting one or the other, will get the standard 5 minutes as the council agenda calls for. Because we realize that, 15 minutes or 5 minutes might not be long enough time to speak to what we need to speak to.
So who is going to speak for John, I guess, or you speaking for your group, or? So you have 15 minutes.
Kind of like what Ken said, here we are again. How many of you went to the rodeo this year? Any of you? Poker run? Any of you do that? What about the fishing tournament? And the point I'm trying to make here is, on the rodeo, do you really realize how big that weekend is? With the addition of the fishing tournament, we now easily pay out over $100,000 that weekend to at least 70 people. That means there's several people that come to Eufaula and leave here with over $1,000 in their pocket. Some $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in their pocket. And it's real important that we all work together with the chamber, with the fishing people, and the city to bring all this together and work as one. And 5 or 6 years ago, it was known as the Whole Hog Day Rodeo. Have to understand that the Whole Hog Days is a trademark of the chamber. They own the rights to that word. So we have visited with Jay, and we think that we can go back to calling it the Whole Hog Day Rodeo. But I don't know of any other community in this area anywhere where they give out $100,000 in 1 week. That's just that's really, it's mind blowing when you stop to think about it. I'm with my cover sheet that I've prepared. I'm just going to kind of elaborate on some of those issues there. And in 1991, we won this award right here, the Rookie Rodeo of the Year. That's when it started. So we know that we've been in this business 30-something years. What you don't realize is, and most people don't, that about 3 years before this, my sister and 19 others, 20 altogether, formed this association. She owns stock in the the Cowboys Regional Rodeo Association. She's one of 20. So when you talk about experience, she's got over 30 years experience in this association. She owns part of it. And not a board member, a shareholder. She, being in this position, she knows exactly who all the announcers are, contractors are, all the labor, contract acts, vendors, because they all have to come to the association and buy a membership to be able to participate. All the awards that's been given over the last 30-something years, the way I understand it, they have a nomination committee, and nominate, and then the Cowboys get to vote on it. Well, she's always made sure, even in the last 5 years, that Eufaula has always been in there, and Eufaula has always been able to win an award. And she could easily turn around and say, hey, I don't want these people to have an award. I'm not going to nominate them. But she didn't. I think it's been as fair as can be, and you're going to hear that they won awards. But just remember, she is a shareholder of this association. In 2016, we won an award, and I could have brought 2 boxes full of these plaques, but I just picked out a couple of them here that I thought was most important, most relevant. It says the Cowboys Regional Rodeo Association largest payoff of an approved rodeo. You fall around the club, you fall Oklahoma. That was in 2016. Bill said that year they had, I think it was 641 contestants. 641. Friday night, they had a lot after the rodeo. I don't know what time it was over, but I remember some of them, I wasn't there, but they said the sun was coming up on Saturday morning. There was that many people there. Folks, that was just 6 years ago. We called Donna Graham, the secretary of the association, after the results were turned in, and said, how many contestants was entered this year? Paid up and actually competed at the Eufaula Rodeo. We were led to believe at the last meeting there was like 300. It was 229. That was all the difference from 641 to 229 in 6 years. There was 2 events that the bareback riding and the felt rope riding didn't get the mandatory 5 entries for it to even count in standings. So part of the problem there is, the stock contractor who's been there for a long time, was run by a boy named Cody Ward. Well, Cody got hung up in the drugs, you know, he went down, and his brother took it over, and the stock is just not in as good a shape as it should be. It really doesn't meet our standards, for sure. And, so some changes are gonna have to be made. It's, need to look at the whole rodeo itself. Concession stands, everything needs to be looked at. We had have always had a pretty good queen contest, and I'm kind of particularly proud of this bunch right here. And I'm allowed to kind of walk around. You see these girls right here. This is a group of girls that was about 7 or 8 years ago, and they, this is Dr. A. Dave's daughter over here, Savannah Kerr. This is a Weedle. This is Meadow Burns. All girls that you all probably already know. But I just want you to look at those. And here is the last year's queen contestants in the regional rodeo association. Man, they just match up, same kind of quality, same kind of girls. So we're real proud, and a lot of the credit goes to Denise Harjo, who ran our youth program. She started out with not very many, but over about a course of 7 or 8 years, she got it up to about 44. And the last year, of course, those of you that know Denise know that she got cancer and she passed away. And but that last year we spent, or she spent, of our money, about $8,000. She made sure every kid got a gift of at least $100 or more. And so some kids got $125, and what they were doing was a saddle pad or a bridle or whatever, something for your horse, something that they would use. And we ended up spending about $8,000. Denise was just one of a kind. She's irreplaceable. And once she left, and some other people took over, it didn't last 6 months, and it was gone because they wanted to make it bigger. We are wanting to keep our youth program, the play days, whatever it is, to local kids. And when I say local kids, 15, 20 miles. One of the things that we had worked with on, with the chamber on, with Pam 5 years ago, was a t-shirt. I said, we were working really close with the chamber. He said, this is a t-shirt that we can sell year round. And Deb was, he said, I want to see something that goes on year round. Well, a t-shirt, a caricature of a cowboy riding a hog, with whole hog days on it, is something that we thought would really go over good. And my sister and I were lucky enough a couple of years ago to go have one of our sponsors gave us some tickets to go to the PBR. And t-shirts like this right here is something that we hope to get back to the chamber on, where they can, this is something that sells to chamber members. We hope that the Lake Falls Association will take that and go to the trade shows that they go to and promote the whole hog days in Uvalde. And this is just an example, this is one that came from Tulsa. And, we just think those are the kind of things that help promote our city and our sport. And we just want to, you know, back in the chamber, like I said before, it was, used to be the whole hog days, down to the annual fall rodeo. And talking to Jay, I think we'll be able to go back to calling it the whole hog days. You know, I hate to call it problem areas, but it's things, maybe I should just say, things that I think that are, needed to be addressed. When you look at the rodeo, you're in the entertainment business. I know at the rodeo, start listening to cowboys and they want this and want that, but it's the paying customer that you have to respond to. You gotta make them happy. The length of the rodeo, is going 3+ hours. You've got to have, people's attention is about 2 hours, 2.5 hours at the most. And some ideas that we have to shorten the rodeo, they're having all this junior barrel racing during the rodeo, and the mud busting before the rodeo at 7 o'clock. Well, let's move all the junior events to 7 o'clock
2 minutes.
and, and shorten the rodeo along with the mud busting. We move the clean contest up and, it will, shorten the rodeo, go from 10 contestants to 8 contestants. And I think we can cut 45 minutes off the rodeo and present a better product to the customer. The concession stands, one window, four people, it's not gonna work. But the trend today looks like, doing food trucks. It's something that, in my packet, I'll put in the deal about the rope and it's on October the 1st. We're gonna do the food trucks at that event.
1 minute.
I mean,
One.
1 minute. The dirt and arena, it's got to be redone. They put concrete sand in there instead of sandy loam. That's just not gonna work. Jeb, I saw on the deal where T-Mobile is giving away some grants for, $50,000. Cities less than 5,000, they give away 4 grants twice a year. I hope we can work with you to try to get some grants for some bleachers. And all I would say here in closing, you know, I'd ask you this, are you interested in the smaller kids? Kids close to us, like 10 or 15 minutes, or 10, 15 miles. And my biggest fear is that things could go bad, this thing would end up like a swimming pool. And I just don't want it to end like that. And I think we have the management skills and the experience to do the job. And I appreciate your time. Thank you. Or if you got any questions, if I got any time, Deb.
Who is speaking for the other club? What's your name?
Brenda Goddard.
Hello, my name's Miranda Goddard. I am with the current board, you call Roundup Club. We need to make something clear, crystal clear. These 2 clubs at one point was one club. There was a vote, people got changed in leadership, and now all of a sudden there's 2 clubs. This is one club that does not get along. I have a letter from Gail Burdine. Showed this to you before, and I can pass it around if you would like. I, Gail Flagg, and turning over the Youth All Around Us Club bank account to Amanda Henley as of today. There will be 3 signatures per withdrawal: Amanda Henley, Shane Goff, Cynthia Choate. Federal EIN number is 02-0782191 for this account. And we were presented with a check for a little over $9,000. Okay? When the current board asked for meeting minutes, financial records, all of that stuff that is supposed to be provided in a changeover of clubs was not provided. So when Cynthia and I contacted the IRS to find out what we needed to do, because we have no records of anything that's been done in the past, we were persuaded or encouraged by the IRS to close that EIN number and get our own. Because you don't want to be responsible for what happened in the past. You want to be responsible for what you're doing now. Thank you for the information. Send in a letter, change the EIN number for Youth All Around Us Club. That's why there's 2 EIN numbers. Not because there's 2 different clubs. Not because Amanda Henley was replaced by Tracy Thompson. She's current board member. She's not here tonight. Shane Goff was replaced by Kyle Goddard, your current president, who at the time was vice president. Cynthia Choate still on our board. How's there 2 roundup clubs? There's not. There's not 2 roundup clubs. This is the only financial statement we received when we took over. Okay? Look at that if you want to. Pass it around. Don't bother me any. As far as the food trucks and the concession stands, you start bringing that kind of situation in. That's a personal business move for the operators of the food trucks. Okay? That takes away, we donate to the VFW. We donate to several churches in the community to come in and operate those things for us. We give the VFW $1,500 a year to come in and cook for us and do all that. It's huge for other entities of this community, not just for us. We don't pocket any of this stuff. It's passed around and makes the community better. Yeah, the rodeo took 3 hours, but you want to know what? There was 84 kids entered Saturday night at that rodeo. 229 sanctioned contestants, cardholders, adults, 84 kids Saturday night. Okay, we are not here to make ourselves better. We are not here to help our personal vendettas. This club and rodeo and life is about these kids. What happens when I get old? What happens when they get old? If there are no kids, Belina doesn't come up here and say, hey, I'll take over. You're getting kind of old to do this. I'll take over. Where does it go? It goes nowhere. It dies. So we've gone over this and we've gone over this and we've gone over this. And all I can ask you to do is to make the best decision for the community. We have a lot of local kids. We have a lot of out-of-town kids. Saturday night, we had a play day. We had 4 kids from Ada, Oklahoma that came to Eufaula for our play days. 3 kids from Tahlequah that came to Eufaula for our play days. Wagner. Like, why are they coming? For one, it's fun. We're low stress, we're low maintenance. The kids come out and have fun, they learn something. That's what it's about. The rest of it is mud under the bridge, whatever. It's about these kids, it's about making the community better. And you don't have a community without kids. And you've heard everything else 1,052 times, and I'm not going into all that. It's not why I'm here. So if anybody has any questions at all, we are working our tails off to make that place better every single day. Every day.
I'm sorry. go
No,
ahead.
no,
I'm just.
If anybody has any questions, I will be more than happy to answer them, but I'm not gonna keep digging a ditch. We're already there. So that's all I have to say. Unless anybody has any questions.
Thank you. Hannah Carpenter.
Thank you.
Okay, my name is Hannah Carpenter. I'm speaking on behalf of the current Colorado Roundup Club. Mr. Davis said it himself, if you want something, you need to show up and fight for what you want. You look at the whole back row, that is for the current Roundup Club. We have 3. Okay, so, Mr. Burdine talked a lot about when they were on the current Roundup Club, the former rodeo royalty. I was former rodeo royalty under the direction of Gail Burdine, John Burdine, and Denise Sargent. There were never 44 rodeo royalty contestants. There were 3. There were never thousands of dollars being put out. There was never a paycheck presented to the Roundup Club queens. We did win saddles, and they were very nice saddles. There were never paychecks presented. He was talking a lot about the CWRA. We are not here to talk about the CWRA. We are here to talk about the Eufaula Roundup Club, and only the Eufaula Roundup Club. The city of Eufaula has nothing to do with the CWRA. So why is that being presented to us right at the moment? He talked a lot about the safety of the Roundup Club. I plainly remember numerous times going to these play days as a child under the direction of Burdine, where drunken fights would take place. A man's ear was bit off at one time, and I highly remember this. Okay? That's not safe. That's not something I want my child involved in. My husband and my child and myself are currently members of the Eufaula Roundup Club, the McAllister Roundup Club, the Dakota Roundup Club, as well as card holders of the World Series of Team Roping. The Eufaula Roundup Club is being ran by far the best that we have been in. There is no safety concerns. There's no drinking, there's no cursing, there's no moms yelling at each other and dads beating on their children because the horses aren't doing right. If you want to vote for your children and the future of this city, please highly consider taking a vote for the safety of our children, the safety of the rodeo arena, and consider the Eufaula Roundup Club, the current Eufaula Roundup Club. Thank you.
Corey Burge.
Hi, everybody. My name is Corey Burge, and I've been here in Eufaula my whole life. So that being said, I have participated in events under both the previous Roundup Club when it was under the Burdines and also this current one. First of all, I'd like to address and clear up just with some facts. I know that there's been a story going around, heard that my name's been in it, if any of you guys have heard it, about me being run off from the Roundup Club. And I would like to tell you that story is true, but it was not by the current Roundup Club, it was by the Burdines. I've also been falsely accused of breaking into the arena and tried to get in trouble that way. I received a phone call from Tasha Carey, which I asked where she got my number and who had asked her to call me. It was Gail Burdine. She was not on the board at this time. She was just trying to control the arena. That being said, I grew up my whole life. There has been nothing but a lock on that gate. It is not used as a public arena. There's been a lock on it. They took the lock off only when the fair board moved those buildings and those businesses out there. And even then, that was when I was ran off. There was not a gate. There was not a lock on the gate. I went and I rode. I ran into John while I was out there. And 2 days later at the feed store, I was told not to do that. Other than that, The gate stayed locked my whole life. Now that the current Roundup Club has taken over, I have been assured numerous times that it is open to the public for people like me that don't have the means to build my own arena to go up there and use and train my horses and do things better. The Roundup Club has made numerous improvements the whole time that we were under the play day and everything with the Birdimes. The drag out there was bars welded together and drug around. They now have a WPRA approved drag, which means that the WPRA is the Women's Professional Rodeo Association. So for us barrel racers and things, it makes the ground better and more safe. They've put new ground in out there. It's never been better. I've yet to have a horse fall on me out there. And I think there was a lot of talk about this one rodeo. This Roundup Club is not one rodeo. It is a big event, and it is a staple in the Roundup Club. But that is 1% of what this Roundup Club does. They leave it open so that people like me can ride. And I'm not the only one. I know many of these people here, and many people that are not here that couldn't make it tonight, they go and practice in that arena and are able to do that now. And these kids, I agree it needs to be for local kids and things, but coming from somebody who rodeos a lot, I will travel 5 to 6 hours to make one run. So having that and having all these out-of-town kids and stuff, that's just a part of the sport. People come from all around to be able to expose their horses to new environments, be able to do that. And under this current Roundup Club, we have been able to do that when in the past was not. And that is what I have to say. So if you guys would kindly consider voting for the current Roundup Club to stay in control so that we can continue to have a thriving, improving, better Roundup Club that's open to the public and anybody is welcome. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Connie Ross.
Hello, my name's Connie Ross. I just want to say I'm not a board member. I am not a shareholder. I'm a mom. I'm a mom that lives out on Texana Road in the city limit, or in with a Eufaula city address. I am the mother of 3, and I've been affiliated with the Roundup Club for 5 years. I was there when we kind of took over leadership from the Birdine to the current administration that's governing the Roundup Club. I want you to know that as a mother with children that participate in their Roundup Club events, these Roundup Club leaders are not here to make money. They're not here to put money in their pockets. After the big rodeo is over, all that money does get divvied back into this community. Over the years, we've paid the VFW. We have paid the churches to cook our food. We've paid the elderly with families to come clean up our trash. We use local sanitation companies for our trash service and for our porta potties. We try to promote the local vendors that want to come out. We have a school that comes out and sells snow cones every year. We try to do everything for the community. And yes, we want participation. Yes, we love the CRRA sponsoring us. We love getting those contestants come out, because that means that the people of Eufaula and the local communities, they get to see one kick butt rodeo every year. You can't believe how many people look forward to this rodeo every year. But that's not all we do. My daughter's a barrel racer. I'm the mother of the Eufaula Club Queen this year. She has barrel raced for the NBHA, National Barrel Horse Association, the Oklahoma 06 group. They put on about 2 races a year. We have the Sooner Barrel Race Association that puts on a couple events a year. We've had OJRA. We've had interest in all that. We are wanting to promote our arena. We want to promote our community. All of those things we have to do by moving forward. We can't keep this rodeo a little tiny rodeo. That's not going to promote our Eufaula community. Awards, it's not our goal to be the top rodeo for the CRRA. What our goal is to, yes, last year we had 300 contestants. We put on the best rodeo we could for 300 contestants. This year we had 230. We put on the best rodeo we could for 230 contestants. Next year, I pray we have 500 contestants, and we're going to put on the best rodeo we can for 500 contestants. That's our goal. But you know what? We can't do that without improvements. And I'll tell you, whenever I came to that rodeo 5 years ago, it wasn't fit for our kids to rodeo in. These folks, they put dirt in the arena, dirt that was given to them, because we don't have the money to buy our own dirt. We run most of our stuff on sponsorships. People who want to see us promote our community, not because we are putting money in our pockets. I've never gotten a paycheck from Youth All Roundup Club. My daughter's the Youth All Roundup Club queen. She didn't get a paycheck. She worked hard. She sold her sponsorships. She promoted her club, and she won a very nice saddle. She won a very nice crown. She got some very nice attention in the arena. And that's what we do. We try to get our kids in here. We're trying to improve our arena. We want these big things to come to our community, because that's when they're going to go eat at McDonald's. That's when they're going to stop at Brahms at the end of a play day. That's whenever they're going to stop and fill up with diesel. And diesel ain't cheap, folks. People are paying big money to come to our rodeo. With the previous board, we did not have any improvements. We've built a brand new announcer stand. We've put dirt in the arenas. We've improved the safety as much as we can every year. And every year we make a project. We make some kind of a project that we want to do. We want to build a new concession stand. We're going to repaint the bleachers. We're going to correct the bleachers, fix the bleachers, put gravel so that people can drive down the road and get to us. Mr. Burden stood up here and he made comments about poor stock and stock contractors, and we have open bids. I'm not on the board, but if I went to Miss Goddard right now and said, hey, Brenda, can I see the books? She'll be more than happy to open that book and let you see. Tracy Thompson, the treasurer, if I wanted to say, how much money we've got in the bank account today? I'm not a board member, but there are no secrets in this club. We got a check and started a club. There was not a family.
Thank you, Connie. Elena Ross?
It's my baby. It'll be nice.
Hi, I'm Alina Ross. I am the Youth All Roundup Club queen. I have been here since 2017. I've been a member, and when I started, they were head, and I'll be honest. When I rode my horse in the arenas, when they took care of the arena, I did not feel comfortable riding there. There was grass growing up in the dirt. There was your alleyway wasn't even like drug. There was grass everywhere. They kept their own horses there all the time. Every time I go there, I'd have to pin up some different horse that I didn't even know. I've never touched. I can go there now, today. I can assure you that the arena there is going to be perfect. You're going to ride. You're not going to slip. You're going to be just fine. I have never rode in an arena that has been so well maintenance. I have rode in hundreds of arenas, and I have never ran in an arena that's been so well maintenance, so well dragged. The dirt there is beautiful. We have put, I don't know, probably 20 whole truck fulls of sand and dirt, and we have tried to build up that ground. We have been out there for hours at a day on our weekends off. We work 5 days a week. Our weekends off, we're out there working. I'm a full-time student. I'm a full-time waitress. And on my days off,
When they need help, I'm out there. I have never seen so many people out there at that arena until 2017, when they finally took over. All of those people, all of these people who are now on the current board are all in there. They're all doing it together. We're all in here together. All you have to do is give a phone call and we're here. You want us to weed eat? We'll go out and weed eat. The grass is getting a little too high? All right, somebody's got a mower. We have done so many things to the Roundup Club. It's incredible. It truly is beautiful. We have redone the stands. We have stayed out there till 2 o'clock in the morning trying to clean up after rodeo, so that way the next day a new crew can come in and see a beautiful arena. We have stayed out there hours before the rodeo. Rodeo starts at 7. We're out there at 3 or noon or whatever. We're out there all day long in 90-degree weather. I don't remember that whenever they were on board. I ran for Junior Queen, and this year running for Queen was completely different from whenever I ran for Junior Queen. Junior Queen, we were just now getting a head start of finally getting into this board, finally getting a new board and getting into this Roundup Club. And I can't explain it, but somehow it did not feel good to be a Eufaula Junior Queen whenever everybody thought it was under the Bernines. Everyone thought, no, I don't want to be associated there. It was not safe. I can assure you that when I ran for Junior Queen, nobody really, they were like, oh, Eufaula Roundup Club. Gotcha. That's it. Now I'm standing here with the Eufaula Roundup Club thing on. Everybody knows exactly who I am. Everybody knows who I stand for and what I'm here for. I'm here for the Eufaula Roundup Club. We run play days. We run rodeos, jackpots. Every once in a while, we might throw in a rope in here and there. We are here for everybody. Everybody knows who we are here for. We are here for Eufaula. We are not here for, and I have heard rumors, I don't know if these are true, but they have been in Shakota and Eufaula. They've bounced back and forth. We're here for Eufaula. We don't go to Shakota. We don't go to all these other boards trying to win over everybody else. We are Eufaula and Eufaula only. 1 minute. And we do everything for this town. We have thrown an amazing rodeo, thrown amazing play days. I personally have never been to a better play day ever, and I've been to many. So I have to
Thank
say
you,
that.
Elena.
Thanks.
Connie Boone.
I'm Connie, but I'm probably the only one in that country from the cigarette I ran out there. John, at that time, John came along not too long after I did, but the arena was built by freehand. It was one of the best arenas in the country. And that was in about 1972 when I won the rodeo and thought I'd never see another poor day. But here I am, still poor. I've won several rodeos, but it took it all back. Seems like we've got off track of what I thought this meeting was about. I'm not here to talk about anybody. I'm proud to stay at this rodeo, and my daughter won the bell race, and my granddaughter won the juniors, and my son-in-law won the second in the calf rope. I'd done retired by then, and no doubt I'd have won the steer wrestling. But anyway, it's been a good rodeo since the early 70s. We used to stay all night long out there. 15 years ago, I quit staying all night, but they were still staying all night there 15 years ago. And when I won the first rodeo I ever entered out there, there was 80 bulldogs. I ain't seen 80 bulldogs in 5 rodeos combined lately. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about this or that, the way y'all have decided to pick who's gonna be over it, seems to be the only way it's gonna be done. So I appreciate you for that.
Thank you, Connie. I think that's all the cards. Did I miss a card? Okay, the floor is open for discussion.
Hey, John, why do you say 15 to 20 mile radius for kids? Why do you say 15 to 20 miles for kids to participate?
If you look in the back of my package, there's about, I think there's 18 or 19 people that I listed that are not currently involved with any of the play days. Those 18 or 19 people, I think Tony Haley would be the farthest one at hand, and that would be 20 miles. Out of those 18 kids, 18 people, I think there's 13 kids under 18 years of age. And they all, their parents participated in rodeo and roping. They're not currently involved with the current Roundup Club. So whenever you get away from 20 miles, then you start catering to people like McAllister, Stigler, Henrietta, Skokie, Warner. So what I see when I go out there, like these people that got up and spoke, like the last girl, she probably goes to school in Chicago. I don't really consider them a Eufaula person. Eufaula's trade area is located west of Eufaula. It really doesn't go across in the long town, and it doesn't go across up into Chicago much. It's all out here. And if you look at those 18 people, that's where all of them reside from. So that's the area that we built up before, and yeah, I mean, we're not opposed to anybody else coming. Let's make that clear. But the focus of, I'm talking about Audrey Decker's got a girl 3 or 4 years old, Cliff Pittman, I can name 4 or 5 young ones, and then there's 4 or 5 that's in that middle-aged group, and then there's 4 or 5 in that 15, 16-year-old range. But all those kids are out there, and they're not currently involved. One of the things that's between what Denise had and what we had, we didn't have expensive entry fees. It was like $2 or $3. So a family could come with 2 kids and spend $20, and grandma and grandpa would come, and both sides, and we let the parents run it. Whatever events they wanted to run, they could run. When you start getting into these bigger deals where people come from Ada, well, now you got $25,000 horses, $75,000 truck and $100,000 trailer, competing against somebody that came with their stock trailer and half-ton chicken pickup. So there's big or there's little. But let's be clear, the rodeo supports the play days. Without the rodeo making money, then you would not have any play days. Because they can't sustain themselves. I mean, I'm sure with us and with them, the play days never paid for water or electricity or rental. And the rental with us was always open to kids anytime, and I don't ever remember a walk ever being on the game. The drags, they start talking about the footing and stuff. The sand they brought in was concrete sand. I think you guys over here know a little bit about concrete sand. And Nancy, it's like coarse sand, and if you put biggies on that table right there and you roll it around, you can't get a footing. It always is there. it was the wrong kind of material. It just showed that their knowledge. And at the last meeting, they acknowledged, and we acknowledged, that there was a lot of these $100,000 horses that was slipping at the rodeo. Well, the other thing was that there was 229 contestants, there was 40 contestants entered that didn't show up.
Okay.
And social media is,
That was one question. All right,
Okay.
do you have any other questions? Sam? Anybody on the council? Danny?
So what is this about really? I mean, you have one club? I don't care who answers it.
she was
There's-
misleading.
Somebody was saying there's one club. So this is about who owns that club or who runs this club or what's the, I mean, it's one club. What are we trying to get at right now?
This is one club, but because of the division and the inability to get along, Mr. and Mrs. Burdine are saying that they have one club and that we are a completely different club. Even though I was voted in, there was a new board voted in, they splintered off and decided they're a separate club.
So there's two names or there's still one
It's
name?
still
or-
you fall around that club. One has a hyphen and one doesn't. So there's two.
No, there's not. There's only one now.
There's-
I'm pretty.
You're not on the other. You'll let it show for your money.
It's the one person
One
answer.
person at a time will
I was
respond.
voted in by the current board now. I come in when Gail stepped out. When I come in, Gail stepped out, signed everything to us, and that's when we decided that we would have no paper trail, so we have to start a paper trail to do what we're supposed to do. That's what it is. There's still just one round.
There's splinters. Danny, there's two.
Two.
There's
There's
two.
actually two.
And if you look at my package, that's what I included, was a letter from the IRS to show our, federal ID number.
I saw that. They have a.
And what happened was they tried to get our number. IRS said no. Then they went back and they had a name that was real similar to our name, and they told them no on that. So then that's whenever they came back and then that's when we get into the deal about capital letters, little letters, hyphens, no
Okay.
hyphens.
All right, we're good on that.
But there's two numbers, two clubs.
Okay.
Can I speak? Yes. In the last 5 years, taking my children to the Roundup Club, I've not witnessed these folks be out there. The first year, they were there. They wanted to know how much money we made after the rodeo was over in August. They were at that meeting. They were there when we voted that year on new board members. They brought proxy votes to get their votes for board members. And we said that, no, that wasn't going to be allowable with this new board. We all voted on that as a club, saying that that would not be allowable. We have minutes from all of our meetings. We have all of our financial statements. These folks have not participated in anything that has to do with our current running You Follow Roundup Club. So I don't know where their You Follow Roundup Club participates or has their events or anything. And I bet they probably can't provide you with any of that information either. But if you want to see our
You said there was
information,
only one though, so if there's only one Roundup Club, I don't understand
They
how.
have two ID numbers, so there are two
I know
previous.
there's Not two.
Yes, they are two ID numbers. Okay, let's stop discussion in the crowd, please. Is there any more discussion before a motion?
So we're voting on who.
We're voting on You Follow Roundup hyphen. Oh, You Follow Round, okay, with the hyphen in it, the one with the hyphen in it, or the one without the hyphen in it. The one with the hyphen in it is the current one.
It's the board.
It's the board right now, the current one that has had police for 5 years.
But how long is the lease for? Year,
The current new lease will be for 5 years. another 5 years. Is there any more discussion? I make a motion.
Why don't you reference them as current or former?
Okay, current.
So we won't get mixed up if it's with or without a hyphen.
I make a motion to retain the current round with the 5-year lease. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Counselor Davis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hauser,
Yes.
Counselor Upton,
Yes.
Counselor Kirby.
No.
Okay. All right. Remarks and inquiries by the council. Oh. Do we have any remarks and inquiries by the council? I had a really nice announcement about the Eufaula area arts, and I left it in my car. It's September 24th. They're going to close off in front of High Street Coffee and set up their tables for children and, I don't know, what am I looking at?
If they'll visit the city Facebook site, we have posted their flyer. So you have the Arts Council is holding their arts extravaganza, if you want to call it that, for lack of a better term, on the 24th of September. We'll close off High Street between First and Main, and they will set up on High Street with their artists.
And that's from, is it 10 to 4? What time is it?
10, time-wise, 10 to
6.
10 to 2?
10 to 6.
10 to 6.
10 to 6.
Okay, 10 to 6.
Okay.
And then if there's inclement weather, if it rains, then they'll be here in the community center.
Okay.
All right. And then additionally, they have starting on the 17th and then running through the 24th, you have Vision Youth College doing their mural fest.
Okay. That
So
starts
we'll
on
have
the
a mural being
17th.
painted here as well as 5 other locations.
Okay.
It's gonna be a big day for art.
Yes, it's going to be very good.
Got the Toby Keith tournament. So we're doing that's another thing, again, available on our Facebook site. We're doing a Toby Keith tournament. It's a fundraiser for the Kids Corral, which is a cancer center at the OU Medical Center for Kids down in Oklahoma City. And so they're a fairly large tournament, a good fundraiser. It's their big fundraiser. It used to be in another lake town, but they wanted to come to Eufaula. And so, it's a good thing. And we want to make sure we make them feel welcome, feel at home. And, we want them coming back every year. I have one more now.
Okay.
Andrea. There we go. Everyone, this is Andrea Olin. Andrea is our new community development director. She's taking Adam's place. She'll be, managing our social media, the economic development, and everything that, that falls under tourism and recreation. She comes to us from Midwest City. She was the Parks and Rec or Sports and Rec?
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec supervisor. I've been there for 4 years, grew their youth programs in swimming, in softball, baseball, adult leagues. So she's got a good handle on promoting events and trying to grow our town as well. And she's a Stigler native, So she's familiar with us and like to, everyone give her a welcome.
Thanks, don't hold it against me, I'm
We have a motion to adjourn. I make a motion to adjourn. Second, Jamie, second.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mauser.
Yes.
Councilor Upton. Councilor Kirby.
Second, Floyd Gray.
Yes. Okay, Jeff.
Excuse me, y'all.
Maybe the next council in 2 years.
I'll get ready to bring some. Yeah. Yes, I am. I'm somebody coming to you. I see what I'm having. Oh, he went to the doctor. Well, he said, you know,
Probably correct. Thank you, baby. What?
I'm
Our order at 6:58 PM.
Counselor Davis.
Here.
Vice Mayor Mauser.
Here.
Mayor Warren is absent. Counselor Upton. Counselor Kirby.
Okay, on the consent agenda, approval of minutes, regular meeting August 1st, 2022, approval of the August 2022 payroll figures for the Fall Public Works Authority in the amount of $44,424.15, and receipt of claims from Fall Public Works Authority. We have a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Counselor Davis.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mauser.
Yes.
Counselor Upton.
Yes.
Counselor Kirby.
Yes.
Okay, number 5, consideration of acceptance, approval, adoption, rejection, amendment, and/or postponement to pay application number 24 from Lone Hickory Cattle LLC in the amount of $148,010. Is there any discussion? Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Katie made the motion.
I'll second it.
Brian seconded.
Counselor Davis.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mauser.
Yes.
Counselor Upton.
Yes.
Counselor Kirby.
Yes.
Okay, number 6, consideration of acceptance, approval, adoption, rejection, amendment, and/or postponement of change order number 2, water distribution package B, reconciliation of quantities.
Well, I'll address this just real quick. So in the course of package B, we had certain items bid that some items we used, and we used additional quantities of. Certain items that were bid, we didn't use at all. So all we've done is in this, what you're approving here is that reconciliation. If we didn't use 100 foot of cast iron pipe that was bid out, then we zero that line out and then in that amount. And then if we were going to use 50,000 foot of 6-inch water pipe, but we use 55,000 foot, we take that amount and adjust that quantity up. So all it is right now is just a housekeeping thing to make sure our quantities match what we actually put in the ground. And then what we'll do is we'll take this approval and then we'll go back and run our numbers and see exactly where we're at, what we have left, and then keep moving on. But I will say that On water pipe, when we started up by the dorm, up on Swabney, we had about 11,000 foot of pipe to lay, and we're probably down under 5,000 foot. So we're real close on having all the water line in. Then once we get it in the ground, we still have a tie-in to the old system. We think it's on Main Street, or we think it's at Oak and B. That's where we think. And some of this is a hunt. It's literally a hunt. We don't have any maps. We don't have anything to tell us where it's at. So we've got to kill those out. Then all the old fire hydrants that are dead will come out. We'll cut them off and remove them. So which will make your guys' life a lot
And I
easier.
like all the new fire hydrants that are being.
Uh-huh. It's good. It's good. You have fire flow. You get a new hydrant, you're gonna have flow, So, again, this is as much a housekeeping item. It's really not a payment of any sort. It's just a reconciliation of quantities.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve. I'll second.
Counselor Davis?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mauser?
Yes.
Counselor Upton?
Yes.
Counselor Kirk?
Yes.
I have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Dave, make a motion.
Second.
Counselor Davis?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mauser?
Yes.
Counselor Upton?
Yes.
Counselor Kirk?
Yes.
Not yet.